Hey guys, welcome back to the Lake Effect Gardener. My name is Jim, and today is part 2 of the 3-part series. And if you guys watched the very first part, it was all about seed sowing, all the plants that I'm planning on growing in my polytunnel. I'd like to also say, I don't know what happened to the audio at the end. I really don't. I hope you guys were really good lip readers because it just stopped. So anyways, I digress. So today is going to be in the tomato bed, and there are 2 tasks at hand that need to be taken care of. First of all, the tomato plants need to be tied up, okay? So you guys know that I grow mostly, not all, but mostly indeterminate varieties of tomatoes, which means that they grow and grow and grow, and they continue to grow upwards during the whole growing season, okay? So I need to get those tied up onto the poles so that they don't flop over in the wind, or even worse, they could break, heaven forbid. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. And then secondly, what I'm going to be doing is doing some pruning. Now, there's 2 types of prunings that will be happening. The first will be the lower leaves. Now, I know that I've said to you guys that I do not have a problem with blight here, okay? I've been growing tomatoes here for 10 years. I've never had blight. And the Sicilian in me once again is saying, good job, just shot yourself in the foot. We're going to have really nice blight this year. Never mind. So I'm going to take those lower leaves off just as a preventative, okay? And then the second, I'm going to be taking off the side shoots or the suckers, okay? Some of the suckers are really small. Those will be nipped out and thrown in the compost pile. Some of them are big mamacitas, okay? And those big plants, those big shoots that I'm going to be taking off, I'm going to root them on because those shoots are going to go in the polytunnel. So hoping to extend my tomato season this year. I'm really excited about that. So before we get in, I just want to wish all of my friends here in America, this is Independence Day weekend. I want to wish you all a very fun, safe, and happy 4th of July. This is my favorite time of year. And I just also wanted to point out that I'm wearing red, white, and blue because I'm a patriotic person. And then if you notice behind me, I do most of my garden decorating is in red, white, and blue. It's very, very American. So the bunting, if you guys recognize that, but do you recognize that bunting? Do you recognize who may have crafted such a fabulous looking bunting? Well, for those who follow Vivi's Kitchen Garden, you got it right, my friends. Vivi made that, and just gorgeous. I've had it for 2 years now, maybe even 3. I don't know, but it's held up beautifully. The colors are still very vivid and bright. And I always get comments on that. That's gorgeous, where'd you get it? So, always happy to tell people. And then I've got some bunting down here and stuff like that. By the way, this is my little blue barn, and I haven't given it a lot of focus or attention on this channel, but I did build this year in the spring, and it's made out of reclaimed doors, okay? Can you guys see it? Okay, there's a door here, and there's a door here, and then there's a couple more on the inside. Yeah. My neighbors across the street decided that they were going to toss these doors. They were like brand new, and I think what happened was they were measured incorrectly. So they made a cut, or a cut was made for them, and they ended up being too short. They couldn't use them. Well, they threw them in their garbage, and under cover of night, because that's how I roll, under cover of night, I quickly ran across the street carrying doors. And I'm like, I'm going to use them for something. I'm going to use them for something. So always wanted this extension. I've got a lot of stuff. That awfully huge, horrible blue tarp, what's left of it, which is a lot, is in there. So anyways, that's it. We're gonna go to the tomato bed now, friends, and I really hope that you enjoy this video, and I will see you on the other side to give you a little chat. So tuck in, my friends. Okay, I'm out here in the tomato bed, and I'm going to start by tying these tomatoes up. It's really, really important that you do for this indeterminate variety because obviously they keep going up and up and up and up, and they're not very well designed when it comes to keeping themselves in the upright position, so we got to give them a little bit of help. So this is my row of porter tomatoes, and these are growing really, really well. They're already beautiful green foliage, and they're really starting to put on a lot of weight, and I don't have any flower trusses on them yet, but I think they're going to be coming soon, and I just have to I just love that smell. It's the smell of summer right there. So these are kind of getting a bit overgrown and mad. So what I'm gonna do first is tie them in. And I've got my little canister here of jute twine. So I'm gonna just cut myself a length. Okay. And then what I'm gonna do, I kind of have these twisted around right now, but I really want them, I want the central growing stem to kind of just be on one side. So that's gonna afford a little bit more space in between these plants. So what you wanna do first is take your twine, and honestly, I always use kind of a natural fiber twine. I won't use zip ties or anything like that that won't degrade. This will degrade through the season, and then I can just throw it in the compost, and the worms will love it. So you're gonna take your twine, you're gonna go around your pole, okay? And you're going to knot it in the space that you want, okay? You want it to be right where, the place where you want it is where you're gonna knot it, okay? Then you're gonna take your plant, I'm gonna move this down a little bit, and you're going to do the same thing. And you wanna gently tie it in. You don't want to, you know, squeeze it. You'll end up girdling the plant, and then the plant won't like that very much. They'll die, okay? There we go. So this stem will eventually kind of straighten itself out, and then as it goes up, I'll add more and more and more and more. The other thing that I would like to do is to take off the side shoots or the suckers, okay? And they are very, very clear as to what part of the tomato plant it is, okay? So you've got a leaf that comes out like this, and you have the central growing branch that comes like this. So they're very much perpendicular to each other. In this little corner, which I call the armpit, okay, you'll have a whole nother shoot that's coming out of it. And they could either be really, really small, like this one, okay, tiddly little thing, that'll go in the compost. Or, and there's a lot of them on here. I'm just gonna take my scissors and cut it off. Okay, you can see I'm just the slightest bit tardy when it comes to getting to these. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to strip off the bottom leaves, okay, and I'm just going to leave the leaves that are on the top, okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to root these on, okay, and it won't take long for tomatoes because they root rather easily. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in a jar, and I've got a jar of what was molasses, and now is going to be my rooting station here. If you notice, I have a piece of painter's tape on here. That's way I can label the plant that I'm growing on here. If I were to just stick tomato shoots in here all willy-nilly and not label them, well then I'm not really going to know the variety in which I'm going to be harvesting. So I'll take my Sharpie, and I'll label it. Porter. Okay? And there are several of these shoots on the Porter tomatoes. So I'm not gonna root all of them, but I am gonna take a number of them. So I'm gonna get on with that, taking off all of the little side shoots. And then I'm gonna show you when I'm all done. I'm only gonna take about 4 varieties to root on, so that I can put them in my grow bags, but I'll show you once it's all done how many I have. So this is yet another vista in my garden, and this is another seating area, because you know I love seating area. Part that you really haven't seen too much about, really, but you can see right behind me my tunnel, and this is kind of like my tunnel resting area. It's just right outside the shed, but it's in the shade, it's fully shaded, it's lovely over here. Nice cool breeze is always going through here, so it's a great place to be. Anyways, I just realized my Sharpie was under my cap. So I picked 4 varieties of tomatoes that I'm planting on rooting and then potting on. Now, this big mamacita in the back, there were so many large, deliciously juicy shoots coming off of it that I became a greedy guts and just harvested as many as I could, and I'm actually gonna root them all on. And this is the porter variety, so that's what you guys were watching me over there harvesting. Now, am I gonna use all of these? No. But I'm pretty sure I know some people who would like to have a tomato plant or two. So I'm more than happy to root these on and give them away. So I did several of these, and I did the suckers on the other plants that I had chosen, the other varieties, they weren't very prolific. So the next one we have here is, oh, Sweetie. Yes. So instead of me landing my rump next to the row of Sweetie tomatoes and just eating them, and by the way, as I was tying them up, the trusses are beginning to form. I'm so excited. So this was a no-brainer. This was absolutely a variety that I was going to propagate. And because I love this tomato so much, I'm probably gonna keep all of these for myself. So anyways, so I did Sweetie. And then the next one is that new variety that I was growing, that Italian heirloom, the Consoluto Genovese. And there weren't a terrible amount of suckers on there, but I managed to get 4, so that'll be good. And then last but certainly not least, over here, I have some cuttings of beefsteak. Because as you all know, if you watched my vegetable garden tour, this is the one for tomato sandwiches. So yes, I want to prolong those as well. So here we have 4 varieties of tomatoes. Most of them I'm going to keep in pot on. Some of them I will definitely give them away, see if anybody wants them. If nobody wants them, I'm just going to plant them on and see what happens. So there we go, tomato fun. We got it all taken care of. You know, as I told you before in part 1 that I actually filmed this a while ago, so I don't have the lovely evidence of having, you know, my fingers turning all black and everything, but rest assured it did happen, and you know, it takes a while to get off your fingers. But anyways, really excited, and at this point, some of my tomato plants are already setting fruit, so I am super excited. The tomato season has begun, and there are a couple. I'm just gonna bring you over here quickly. Okay. I don't know if you can see it, but these are the porter tomatoes that I showed you, and look what we got. So I'm really excited, I'm really stoked. And it happened really fast. Let's see, today's Friday. I did that maybe on, when was it? Sunday is when I filmed it. So, I mean, there you go. 5.5, 6 days, and the cuttings are already beginning to set root. So really excited. Can't wait to get those into grow bags and growing on in the polytunnel. So that's it for me, guys. Next video, part 3, is going to be all about chamomile. So I hope you guys tune in. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are new to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Press the notification bell so that you can receive notifications. And until then, this is Jim from the Lake Effect Garden. Bye.